Welcome back into Talking Fitchburg, back out at Hy-Vee and with our favorite dietitian, Erin DeGrave. She's ready to get sauce with me today.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, what did you just say? No. In fact, if people who know me know this fun fact, I'm a sauce guy.
Yeah.
This sauce, let's clarify, love the sauces. I think it adds to any meal that you do. But today we're really going to focus on the flavors because there's some not so good sauces.
Well, right. We have to be cautious on how we're choosing our sauces to make sure we're not adding extra ingredients, extra nutrients that we don't want. So we'll talk a little bit more about that.
I bet you it's sugar. I bet you it's sodium. I bet you I looked at the notes ahead of time. But
Yes.
nevertheless, let's start. If you are picking, and sodium is, I would say, it's the thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking whether it's doing a marinade, whether it's buying a sauce, or even a dry rub too, if you're looking at that. Sodium is got to be one of those areas you got to look at.
Absolutely. It's a really easy place to add in sodium in our sauces, right? So we want to watch out for that sodium. Recommended daily amount of sodium is 2,300 milligrams, which is about a teaspoon, which is kind of wild. So we really don't want to eat too much extra sodium in our foods. So avoiding that extra sodium in our sauces is a really good idea.
Do you tell people when they're out looking at these things to like really look at those labels and look for like these key factors? Like, hey, you really need to zone in on calories, but look at that sodium piece too.
Yes, and especially shopping for myself, I look at the sodium, really watching out for too much sodium because you know what, that's gonna raise blood pressure. We really gotta, protect our heart and protect that blood pressure.
All right, so sodium, key factor here when we're looking at our sauces. Fats too, it's funny, I don't feel like I look at the fats as much as I look at the sodium or look at the sugars or anything else, but you still got to keep an eye on that.
You do, and really one thing I recommend is utilizing those unsaturated fats the most. So unsaturated, to me, I kind of think of it as unsolid. So we don't want solid fats, we want more liquid fats, such as like an avocado oil. And the Chosen Food avocado line is using that avocado oil, so you're getting more of those unsaturated fats, monounsaturated, polyunsaturated, really good for our heart health.
So we can turn a fat into a good thing, is what I'm hearing if I'm listening really.
Fats are not bad. We need fats because they are one of our macronutrients. Remember, carbohydrates, protein, and fats, those are what our body needs to survive.
All right, so a little fat in the diet, not so bad. The last part of this is sugar, so I kind of already said it. But sugar, you got to keep an eye on sugar. What are we looking at here?
Right. So, like you said, sugar, added sugar in your sauces. It's, when we're grabbing a low-fat sauce or a low-sodium sauce or a low-sugar sauce, companies will have to put other ingredients in there to make it taste good. So if you have a low-sodium sauce, they might be upping the sugar. So just be cautious of that and pay attention. Looking for a low-sugar sauce is going to be definitely recommended for those with diabetes or looking to prevent diabetes as well.
I'm on my own journey right now and path, and one thing I've noticed more recently is I see sugar and then added sugar. Why is it doubled up?
Right, so sugar can be naturally occurring in certain foods, so think your fruits and vegetables, they have those natural carbohydrates, fibers, and sugars. So when there's added sugars, we want to watch out for anything that's really added to it. Those naturally occurring ones can be really good for our body, gives us good energy. Those added sugars will add a lot more flavor, which is why they tend to be added and also used for preservatives. However, we just want to make sure we're not adding too much added sugar into our diet.
I'm glad you pointed it out because I think you're looking at it and you're like, why are you dumbing up the sugars? And you're like, is it good, bad, or is it just like totaling up bad sugars altogether? So it's good. But sauces give way to that. I think you're right. Like giving up one or the other.
Right.
I mean, it makes sense. So.
Exactly.
All right, well, let's turn this in and tell me how I can functionally use some healthy sauces and some grilling ideas, because grilling is awesome. And I was like, hey, I just love chicken. Like, how can I spice up that chicken with some great sauce?
Yes, it is grilling season. I know
Where's
you
the
love
grill?
grilling.
Where's
I
the
know,
grill?
I didn't bring it today.
We can't grill inside still?
Can't grill inside.
Okay, fine. It's a functional kitchen, but no grill.
No grill today.
That's all right.
So with grilling, something you can do is marinating, and I'm sure you do that. I've done that. You out there have done that. But a really easy marinade is finding one off the shelf, using a salad dressing and or marinade. A salad dressing can be a marinade, but marinating your whatever you're grilling, your meats, your fish, your vegetables, in a marinade for about 30 minutes prior to grilling. So it really
you
helps.
into like the refrigerating? Sorry to cut you
No,
off
it's
here,
okay.
but like some people are like, hey, refrigerate it for 30 minutes, then let it stand for 30 minutes, then you're like, wait, what? what do you say?
Yeah, so it comes down to that food safety aspect. So if you are planning to marinate like a chicken or a beef, go ahead and refrigerate it as it's marinating if it's going to be more than 30 minutes. If it's going to be about 30 minutes, it's okay to pull that out and let it kind of get to room temperature, because then it's going to be easier to grill it, and yeah, it grills easier and better.
You heard it here. Can't leave that stuff out or we get into the danger zone, and that's a bad place to be. And then just overall, if we're choosing to use some oils too, which is kind of always interesting to me, you mentioned the avocado. That's got a higher cooking rate or cooking point, correct?
Smoke point, yes.
Smoke point. I know.
Yes.
I'm like, darn it, I missed that, but that's
Close enough.
Close
enough. So your avocado oil has a higher smoke point at 500 degrees, so it's great for grilling because your grill is going to be up higher than your stove might be, right? And then so with a higher smoke point, it doesn't smoke before that temperature, right? So you're not getting all this extra smoke when you're cooking, and also that smoking is denaturing those oils too. So it's not going to taste as good as well. So use that avocado oil while grilling with your vegetables or with your meats as well.
And then just again on the food safety aspect, make sure you temperature your stuff. So
Always.
I remember on a very early segment with you where I'm like, well, I just cut my food open, and you're like, you're losing the flavor, dude.
Exactly.
Get that thermometer. So we really do want to temp everything we're cooking.
Yes, definitely. So chicken, turkey, that poultry, we want it to be up at 165. Beef, pork, and fish.
It gets a little bit more challenging, I feel like, those.
Yeah, that can be 145. So those don't have to be as hot, but we definitely want them out of that danger zone.
Fantastic. And try not to overcook it, too. I mean, that's I think that's the hardest part of that is you're like, oh, it's like 162. I got to cook it. And then 5 minutes later, come back and it's 180. You're like, oh, man.
Right. Yep. You got to watch it. Definitely
okay.
stay close to that grill, making sure your grill's not getting too hot.
All right, well, if you want to get into the sauces that were talked about here, or just learn more about finding the right things to balance your great meal, your great grilling, whatever, how can they get involved with asking you questions or doing some research?
Yeah, go to Hy-Vee.com/health and find me, your dietitian, or stop by one of our Hy-Vee stores in the area and ask for my contact, and we'll schedule a meeting, a discovery session, and even walk through the store together.
You can get sauced with a lot of different varieties of stuff in a good way, and really choose some really great things. And I would advise you to try something new.
Try something
it's
new.
It's amazing what you can find out there, especially in this world.
And it doesn't have to be complicated.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
All right, Erin, thank you so much.
Thank you.